typed in? That is what I typed in. Roguelike gamer going rogue? Nah. I'm good. Hard pass. I've heard that one before, but usually not quite in that context, Disco. Because Disco Dwarf Dork says, what do you call a psychic dwarf who escaped from prison? A small, medium, at large? I've heard that one in the, what do you call a child wizard who escaped from prison? A small, medium, at large? Then this can be the dining hall. My captain of the guard. Can also extend this to over here as well. Captain of the guard is taking a nap. Really likes bringing people to rest in bed. Wants to cry on somebody in charge. Is upset by the scarcity of cages, but seems to enjoy beating people up. So I think we found a good captain of the guard. I think we did. Has this made any dent? Not really. Okay, well, this one was a waste, but we can just let it run. It's fine. Okay, so you right here. I can now go up to here and we can continue. A metal crafter has been possessed. Well, that's exciting. That I'll need to follow. So I'll just pause the game. Oh shit, I shouldn't be making these out of glass. Should be making these out of wood, because these ones are not for lava, so it's a waste of the glass. No access to blocks. That is not true, though. You do have access to blocks. Your dwarf friends ignore me. They're always minding their own business. Ah. Psycon, how are you doing, by the way? It's good to see you. I hope you've been well. How do you make a tissue dance? Wow. You asked if you know, you may have gotten further if you asked like a 6-year-old to make that joke, because at the very least, like, they'd be earnestly funny about it. Like, they'd be trying. Whereas, like, I don't think whatever you asked to make that joke is actually trying to make a joke, nor are they funny in the slightest. So that's unfortunate. Also, we're in an ad break, so I will pause the game until the ads are done. Let's also go over here. And also go here. harsh? I mean, no, I'm giving children more credit than AI. Because human creativity is what's valued in things like wordplay. That was a really bad joke, Disco. I mean, rather, not understanding the context of, like, they just added the words like a dwarf to the end of a bad joke. So it's a bad joke, but also had nothing to do with dwarves, which was the entire basis of the question. Exactly, yeah, what NME said. They just added the word and dwarves at the end of the joke. For reference, Disco Dwarf said, I asked AI to make a dwarf joke. How do you make a tissue dance? And the joke they gave them was, how do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it, just like a dwarf. Which is like, you just took a joke that isn't good to begin with and then added like a dwarf at the end. Which, like, what? Now we have this army arriving. Also, speaking of people being dumb and AI, it finally happened to me. Somebody commented on one of my videos and said, this video is pretty good, but did he need to use that awful AI voice? So, you know, reality is breaking and people are dumb. Because there is actually a dwarf channel that does that, which bugs me because the footage doesn't really match what's actually going on in the game. Moreb was found dead. Oh no! Emperor Iron did it again. All right, that's it, Emperor Iron. I'm putting you in prison for a long time. Moreb has been found dead, beaten to death by Emperor Iron. And it seems like Emperor Iron's conviction is a beating and 141 days in prison. But currently he's getting recovered because he's wounded and can't breathe properly. So once he can stand, they'll take him to prison. Tisk. Then there's one other thing I need to check. Okay, you already have a burial chamber. That's what I needed to know. Maybe not half. Tibe. Well, at least not the voice part. Maybe the avatar part. I don't think there's a dwarf named Lanix. Do you know what kind of dwarf you want, Lanix? Beard or no beard? Preference of job? Chromatite is going to arrest the very upset Emperor Iron. The human royal treasurer is now meeting with us. I'm just going to ask for wood. I want to say I asked for bears at one point, but don't know if they're actually going to bring me that. Got a noble. Got a manager. Got a chief medical dwarf, a broker, and a bookkeeper. You know, unironically, Tom Nugent, it probably is. Unironically, to people who actually have to ask Grok if something is true, I wish they would grow a second brain cell because they might realize how stupid they look every time they do that. So you want to be my bookkeeper? Dorian it is. Right, no, that's a weaver. This one. Lanix, with the top knot, is caught up in internal deliberation when action is necessary, is prone to hatreds, and often develops negative feelings. He enjoys being in crowds and tends to assume that the worst of outcomes will be the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. He tends to not be swayed by emotional appeals and doesn't handle stress well. He tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects and likes to brawl. He is a friendly individual and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. He likes working outdoors and grumbles only mildly at crappy weather and doesn't really care about anything ever anymore. He dreams of raising a family and personally, he is personally disgusted by tranquility and would that the world would what is, Chad, am I having a seizure or am I having a stroke, or is this like worded really funny? He personally is disgusted by tranquility and would that the world would that the world would constantly churn with noise and activity. Wouldn't he prefer? And would that the world? Chat, would that the world would? Anyway, it would be constantly churned with, I'm questioning why this dwarf is running the books now. Yeah, pretty much, tongue-tied. Anyway, constantly churned with noise and activity and confusion. Finds sacrifice to be the height of folly and believes that peace is always preferable to war. Values decorum, dignity, and proper behavior, and has a negative view of those who exercise power over others, and doesn't really value merrymaking and doesn't see the attainment of knowledge as important. Clearly would that the world would. Likes native aluminum and trifle pewter, as well as clear tourmaline and durian wood, clear glass, and giant fox leather, goat horn, and coral, and crutches, and the words of the Golden Gorge, and the sound of the velvety incenses, and the sight of the velvet of meadows, and when possible prefers to consume giant buzzard, hake, and longland beer, and absolutely hates blood gnats. I would that happened. I believe it, but you worship Avuz, who's the leader of the Copper Faith, which I think is the god of fortresses. You've got a lot of needs, including acquiring objects and such. John Cena is still mayor, by the way. In case anybody was wondering. Let's also do... Let's do a round of 50 cloth hoods. Because that's the stuff that I have a ton of. I should get rid of all the silk stuff. That's still pumping. What are we down to on this? It is still draining. It's down to minus 37. So it was on layer minus 19 when we started, which means it's got another like 30 to go. Well, I mean, hey, One piece at a time. This is actually draining pretty slowly. Just due to safety. I don't know how to respond to that, enemy. I don't know how to respond to that. I would rather you do exactly what you want to do, my friend. Still working on all of these. One piece at a time. That was the only one that we lost somehow. We're good all the way up to the top. And then the next thing I gotta do is dig down into here. And I gotta connect this. Who's ready to see some fireworks? Mostly fire. Less works. So all that I need are these two to get work done. But I got so many construct building jobs. Because everybody's doing the thing that I told them to do a minute ago, which I probably shouldn't have done, but oh well. How's this doing? Is it catching up at all? Sacred Fortification has named an obsidian short sword. Atir Ilitung. Sure. Okay, so I've got these two getting worked on. I now need 2 dwarves to walk into here and finish this up. And how's this strange mood going? You've got gold, rope reed cloth, turquoises, raylight blocks. What else do you need? Blocks, bricks, rough color. Bones, yes, you probably need bones. Lots of bones. Leather skin, okay. Bars metal. Let's do... Let's eat you, let's eat you, let's eat you, let's eat you. And let's go for some rough gems. Because I'm not positive that I have any gems. No, there's gems. Plenty of gems. It's definitely animals. You know, there is a point where chat is all puns, where I just stop reading chat as much. Which is bad. I shouldn't be doing this. So let's try and catch up to some of these. That picture of Jesse Pinkman's screen, I can't keep getting away with it. Yeah. I'm running out of coke in the pun furnace, but I'm keeping notes for next time. I'm running out of coke for the pun furnace? Oh, okay. Well, just need to quit bitchamissing about it. That was a stretch. What? God damn it. Had a couple of these break. I'm not gonna lie, I don't mind making massive pump stacks. The issue I have with making massive pump stacks is when they get broken halfway through construction. It's like, come on, just successfully finish. I wouldn't mind so much. Okay, so let's see how this up here is doing. Ah, they've just begun it. So now I'm going to find out if this is going to be a more logical way of dealing with lava. Certainly seems to be draining this. Turns out digging all of this out was a bit of a mistake, but... turns out. Let's see how that strange mood is doing. There you go. We've got elephant calf bone. Well, ain't that grim. You're wondering if I have a book with secrets of life and death, and lock it tightly and wall it off, retire to fortress. If it's put on a pedestal, it'll still be there, but the overworld doesn't really interfere with your fortress unless they take it over. So unless it gets taken over, that book will still be there when you come back, if that's what you're asking. Like, if the question is, can you come back and, like, do more with that fortress after the fact? Yes. Yes, you can. So this will drain out eventually. I need this to be, like, 1 and 2s deep. And then what I can do is I can send some water in here. Although, the way to actually send some water into here is probably going to be through here. And then just block this side off. Yeah, it's probably the way to do it. A lot of questions about secrets of life and death recently. Also lots of, you know, bad jokes about dwarves. Sweet. Won't need to be manually dug anymore after that. So yeah, we just need to let this thing run. Just need to let this thing run. The problem is I need to get water right here. That's actually a really hard place to get water to. What's up, Johanning? Because I can't dig right up to the edge. It's like I could pause this thing and then get rid of this and then dig this 2 wider. Yeah, that may actually just be the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, you can hoard books and lock the vault for the lore, because as long as you're running the fort, nobody will come take them unless, like, you let them do that. And then when you retire the fort, unless it gets taken over by enemy forces, they'll still be there. So you could absolutely do that. It's just, if you retire the fortress and if it gets taken over, then... But that's pretty unlikely to happen. Unless the fortress is in a really bad way. Then it's most likely that you're not going to run into that as a problem. Unless you try and make that a problem for yourself, I guess. You're setting up your laptop with Mint? Well, there you go. Obsidian, glass, and glass. Could also dig down here to get a little bit more out. Hey. It's one of the better ones, that's for sure. At least one of the better ones that I've tried. Only 40 hours in Steam, and it's a long way to walk yet. I mean, Dwarf Fortress is easy to learn, but hard to master. Similar to, you know, Factorio or any of those other games you mentioned. It's just obtuse. There's just a lot to it. As Cuddlelog, the metal crafter has created Mishmethodust, a figurine of Unmo Tightness Lock, and offers it to the enjoyable knowledge. I don't know whomst that is or whatst that is, but I will go place a display up here, and we'll take a look once it gets placed. Yeah, no, totally. Dwarf Fortress, or not Dwarf Fortress, Mint is kind of like the Linux blueprint. It's already, like, all the pieces are already there. It's just a matter of setting it up and using it. So this dwarf is guilty after being confined. Really not too happy about his life. Should have thought about that before you know, started making all of these crimes that you've been committing. At least you'll get to be near a fine restraint, if nothing else. The last time you retired a fort, you checked back in with the world map only to find the population of 5,000 goblins? It was one of the most remote places in the world. Sounds like they wanted a remote fortress. Those goblins all bought a vacation home. Emperor Iron is also on and off stumbling around obliviously, so we'll see how much longer that dwarf lasts. So we're trying to get this built, and then I just need this to drain, which won't take too long. And down into here, ooh, this is actually probably the easier way to do this. Once this is drained, I'm just going to channel straight down through here. This may actually be a terrible fucking idea. Just channel straight down through here, and then build a floor on top of it. I think how I'm going to do this. What was that dwarf arrested for? Killing like 3 dwarves. Also was my chief medical dwarf. So what was that dwarf arrested for? Multiple crimes. Multiple crimes indeed. Some migrants have arrived despite the, normal amounts of danger, which is good. Okay, so you is going up here. And this right here can be connected via whatever. And then when I deconstruct this, it'll start pumping. But let's just go up to here, because this is currently going to flood my fort, which probably not a good idea. Hmm. So guess what I want to do is pump this down and then pump water over top of this. That's probably actually the way to do this. Yeah, that's actually the way to do this, isn't it? That's actually the way to do it. Because this will seal all the way across to here. I just need to channel down through here. And then I just need to shut this thing off before it floods the fort, you know, the usual. But it'll also go off this side. Also, we're about to get hit by ads. When the ads pop, I will pause the stream. It might be a little sketchy, but I've started a fort and accidentally chose a civ with very few dwarves, and by winter you had a self-proclaimed queen. I love it when that happens. It just kind of doesn't happen often enough. Like, I do unironically love it when that happens, but... Save the game? Sure, right when the ads start. Yeah. I don't really like animal people because I find them to be a pain in the ass to make clothing for. So I don't really have a favorite species, but if you were to ask me like what my favorite species is, like just in a humor sense, probably hamster people because I think they're hilarious. But I don't really have a favorite one. Thanks for all the guides. Well, no problem, dude. And there's something just truly hysterical about like having tiny little angry Hamtoros. You know? There is something truly hilarious about that. Forgotten beast named Garetho has come. An enormous one-eyed alligator. It has a long swinging trunk and it belches and croaks. Its spring green scales are blocky and set far apart. Beware its poison vapor. It is running into the map quite quickly. Yeah, true. I laughed really... you know, actually, yeah. The Worm Man is pretty funny looking. If you never want to sleep again, look at pictures of the Leech Man. Or the Tick Man. More the Leech Man. But yeah, when they released the screenshot for the Worm Man, I think me and chat, like, died and got reincarnated several times that day. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. She wanted crutches for some reason? She's a really big 1,000-foot crutch fan. Is there at least one person who knows what that is when I say those words in order? 1,000-foot crutch. Does anybody know what that is, or am I the only person who knows what that is? my Panglis. You have a good night. Snooze good. Don't hit it too hard. I'll be back next Thursday. First stream. For those of you who don't know, they were a Christian rap rock band. I presume they still exist. I don't know. Maybe they don't. But it's like a very particular time and place. They kind of fit in with like the Creed era. Like when Creed was a band that people thought about like more often than as a meme. They were a group that existed. I maintain they do have one or two bangers, but like one or two is like maybe even a stretch. But they did have one or two songs that were like, yeah, this isn't horrifyingly bad, it's just bad. And Forgotten Beast completely misses this guy who's been flapping back and forth for a while, and then turns around and goes, I'ma kill you with my vapors. And then the beast says, I'ma set you on fire because I've killed 65 things in these caverns. Jesus Christ, you've been busy. And then this beast is like, well, I've killed nothing, so blah. And are you covered in its goo? You are, in fact, covered in its goo. So if its vapors are something that'll hurt you, it may kill you after the fact. Otherwise, this one's down here and burning, and winded and faint, and has lost their teeth and their trunk, and is enraged at all enemies. And this beast up here is sitting here and going, brah, and then gets the kill. So has now killed a Forgotten Beast, but also has killed a, lot of other things. And is now covered in scars, probably unrelated to the poison vapor, if I were to bet. Mercy, my vapors! But yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it did much of anything, and the beast's blood, or no, the beast's goo evaporating is putting out the fire. But how about you? Still covered in the goo, so it can't be all that bad for you. Although you are retching on miasma, but that's probably unrelated. Oh, nope. The beast is rotting, actually. I think. Not seeing any miasma coming off of you, though. Diagnosis required, so we'll never really know. I thought that the bruise maybe was rotting, but nope. Is not. I think chat's favorite bread today is pumpernickel. You're welcome. Are you stuck, Dwarf? No, you're just moving very slowly. Got it. My intolerance is glutening. Sorry, that's a sentence I read today. I need obsidian, green glass, green glass. Is what I need for that. And none of this needs to be here. Oh, geez. None of this needs to be here. Your favorite instrument is a punborn? Punburin? Okay, what is the actual instrument you are punifying there? Because I can't comprehend. Oh, it's a tambourine. Punburin. Okay, got it. Yeah, the worm men have... So I think we just popped Majestic in YouTube chats Worm Man Cherry because they're like typing in not all caps but excitedly. Oh my god, the Worm Man have a little bow ties on. What? Yeah. Worm Men are special. They truly are special. Okay, so this is all powered as well, which will in fact pump water up and into here. So now I'm just waiting for that to get set up, and then I can hook this up here to you. So we got a few more things we got to do. This is also waiting on construction. This out here is all done more or less. I should just expand this a wee bit so that it can drain quicker. Because why not? Might as well also dig through this. Just build a floor tile right there, because, again, why not? He looks like the world of Richard Scarry. Oh, man. That's... So, true story. My eye doctor, growing up, his name was Dr. Lyons. And I have zero recollection of this, but my mom insists it's true, so I believe her. Apparently, I thought he was an actual lion up until my first appointment, and apparently was very disappointed that he wasn't, because I'd been watching way too much Richard Scarry at the time. I was a small child. Just saying. But I was very disappointed that my eye doctor wasn't, in fact, actually a lion. I'm not sure why that would disappoint me, but apparently I was. You would be disappointed too. I mean, with the context of was a little kid, it kind of becomes more defendable, but outside of that, That's not good. The wereskink Emily Lerwaratharin something or another has come. A large skink twisted into humanoid form. It is crazed for both blood and flesh, and its eyes glow violet. Its sepia scales are round and close set. Let's hope everybody's deep underground. It seems to be pretty far away here. I'm just gonna turn the burrow on. I'm gonna assign everybody to the burrow. Chat, wish me luck. It's apparently in conflict with somebody. I'm gonna tell the secondary squad to go stand up here and shoot at it. Where is it? Hasn't actually hit anybody yet. The Fierce Razor. What a good name. Whoa. Okay, you've been busy. Oh, my word. Zealbirth. Killed a goose and a cat in Zealbirth. Wow, you've been busy. I always look for, like, random demons or, like, anything funny, but no, it's just there's some necromancer creatures and that's it. Yeah, no kidding. Should call him a buzzsaw. Where Skink attacks the pump operator, but he jumps away. Bites the pump operator. Doran, I got bad news. Attacks the pump operator, but he jumps away. Punches the bone doctor. The bone doctor is stunned. The force pulls the neck. Doctor misses the wereskink. The wereskink kicks the bone doctor. Wereskink bites the bone doctor. Rip Dr. Dr. Bob. Shakes the Dr. Bob around by the right foot and the knee collapses. Shakes them around again. My dwarves are hitting it, which is fracturing it. We are doing damage to it. I mean, it is bleeding, as you can see here. The doctor misses the wereskink. The wereskink falls over. And the wereskink screams, "I was attacked." Most shocking. Really. The Swords Dwarf stabs the wereskink in the lower leg, bruising the muscle. The Swords Dwarf slashes the wereskink in the right eye. The wereskink bites the dwarf they already bit, bruising the muscle. That actually wouldn't have killed them because they only bruised. The militia commander stabs the wereskink in the lower arm, fracturing the bone. The force bends the upper arm. The wereskink continues to shake the dwarf that they bit around, which does tear apart the spine. The Swords Dwarf stabs the wereskink in the upper body with his obsidian short sword, bruising the fat. The wereskink continues to shake the dwarf around by the leg, and continues to shake the dwarf around by the leg. The Swords Dwarf stabs the wereskink in the lower body, which bruises the muscle because it's just an obsidian short sword. The wereskink is now biting that dwarf on the lower lip. Is his tongue teal? I would think it would be blue, but it does kind of look teal-y there. Dwarf misses the wereskink. The militia commander slashes the wereskink in the lower body with their artifact gold short sword, which bruises the guts. Wereskink scratches the dwarf that's been bit, bites the dwarf that's been bit again in the right hand, which seems to be Dr. Bob. It's just like horribly brutalizing Dr. Bob. Thankfully, my other dwarves are hopefully doing a good job. I mean, we've got some legendary swords dwarves here. As for this critter, well, it's certainly pretty mangled. But as long as it has teeth, it's still a threat to us because its teeth haven't been knocked out. The swords dwarf... let's just do that. The Swords Dwarf stabs the wereskink with bruising it. Wereskink shakes the dwarf they bit around. They continue to shake them. Continues to bite them. My dwarves are scratching it and slashing it, and continues to shake that dwarf around by the head now because they bit him in the head. Re-bit him in the head, I suppose. The militia commander punches the wereskink, stabs the wereskink, scratches the wereskink, stabs the wereskink, pulls the neck of the wereskink, stabs the wereskink in the right upper arm with an obsidian short sword, bruising the muscle. Swordsdwarf stabs the wereskink in the upper leg with an obsidian short sword, bruising the muscle. They miss. Swordsdwarf attacks the wereskink, but it scrambles away. Wereskink misses the Mace Lord. Mace Lord bashes it, which fractures the bone. Swordmaster stabs it in the upper body, which bruises the left lung. Butcher punches it. Yeah, these swords they're more like, I was describing them like waffle bats, you know? Or like the swords they use for training kendo. I think it's kendo. Kendo's the sword sport, right? The Mace Lord bashes the wereskink in the lower body. Also, I need to check something. Couldn't remember if I turned on my recording today. Oof, that would have been bad. The Swordmaster stabs the wereskink in the head, which bruises the muscle. The Butcher punches the wereskink. Swordmaster kicks it. It misses a bunch. They bash it in the head with Kankor. The Mace Lord does, which is, I think, a gold mace, bruising the muscle and jamming the skull through the brain. So Dr. Bob has been bit. Cannot breathe. Well, that's good. How about the other dwarf that got bit? Because there was two. And it did end up all the way over there. Doran is going to go rest because you're only injured. You know, I'm just going to get rid of my Diagnoser. for right now, who is actually Emperor, who is in prison, so that's fine. I'm just going to go up to here, and I'm going to go to Orderlies and say nobody does this. I'm just going to wall this character in here. Why are you diagnosing patient? I specifically said don't do that. And Dr. Bob has been found dead. Rest in peace, Dr. Bob. You did good, my friend. You were a valued member of society once. There you are. That's where you were found dead. Well, seal off this one room in the hospital. The real shame is this is one of my woodcutters. So they actually have an axe. I should probably remove them from that task. Okay. So this is now getting removed from that room in the hospital, and we'll figure out what to do with them in due time. There we go. So now they're just going to stand there injured for a bit. I don't have any obsidian artifacts. I did find a metal artifact that I haven't assigned to a dwarf yet, though, mostly because it doesn't have a sprite. But I don't have any obsidian artifacts. That is not a thing that exists in this fort. I have made obsidian short swords, but Cancor is a gold artifact. Okay, so you're probably going all the way down to work on that other thing. Stand by to seal off the hospital. Yep. Yep. Speaking of hospital. You do know that a skink is a thing, right? It's got nothing to do with being kinky. It's just that is a type of creature, a skink. I really like skinks. Skinks are cool. Yeah. It wasn't a lance, was it? I don't recall it being a lance. No, it's a spear. But it's wavy, faceted. Faceted is the edit on it that makes it funky. I would say skinks in general make great pets. Although they're very lazy pets. They don't do much. They just kind of exist and ignore people. Which maybe makes it for a great pet. This poor dwarf. Just stuck down here. You know what? Why don't we just let you out of there? Lazy pet is best pet? I think that's why people like cats. All right. We're going to begin big drainage number 2, although I didn't actually finish doing that. Oh well, whatever. But this is going to require more power now, and is going to pull more lava out. So we're going to pull lava all the way up to here. Although not quite all the way this way, but we'll pull it all the way up to here, which hopefully will be enough. Hopefully. Your wife plays a lot of tennis. If there are 3 people playing 2-on-1s, Two on one side, one on the other, and they call it Canadian doubles. Just wanted to make you aware of that. I've literally never played tennis in my life, nor have I ever really thought about tennis, but today I learned. I don't know what that means or why they call it that, or nor do I really care. But thank you for sharing. I feel slightly more educated in a subject I was less educated in this morning. Till 2:30 in the morning, they get the zoomies, just like me. I feel seen. All right, so this is going to drain, hopefully quickly. So what I should have done is I should have built this all one further forward. If I built this all one further forward, then when I could just dump water on it. But now instead I need to wait for this to dump or get rid of all of this lava before I can just dump more water on it. So, you know, it's kind of it's a process. It's a process. God, this is actually getting pretty close. This is down to layer 40. Also, this is getting drained out noticeably. I need to see where this is actually draining it from. This is why you glue your extension cords? That's the weirdest way to refer to a zap strap that I've seen in a minute. Zero Effort Gaming. Have I ever watched Clint's Reptiles? Nope. But I don't need to be brainwashed into liking skinks. I had a pet turtle growing up, so. I do watch Leafy Street, though. Which is more geckos than skinks, but I also watch Serpa Design. But that's more like terrariums and like making landscapes for critters than a specific kind of critter. Yay, my phone provider actually listened to me and removed the fake roaming charge. Hello, Nutty Wombat. How are you? I personally am okay. I go on vacation tomorrow, so I'm excited. Well, begin my vacation tomorrow, which means I begin traveling tomorrow. It's going to be a whole day of traveling and then another whole day of traveling because I have to go all the way to my parents' house, which is like a 4-hour trip, and then I have to go from my parents' house to the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. So I am much excited. So I wonder if it's this or if it's actually this. But regardless, this up here is getting some drainage. So I should actually go one above this. Not where I was designating, but I should just go up to here. Because I need to go prospect a wee bit and see. What the heck is going on? Thief, protect the horde from skulking filth. I don't care, though. That's the problem. I'm sure the dwarves can deal with it. Dog? No, dig. There we go. Where am I traveling to? I'm going to Montreal. I go to watch the Formula 1 race out there because it's the cheapest one to watch in North America, and it happens around my birthday-ish. I've done it the last several years, and it's a lot of fun. You were on a mini vacation last weekend? The insane beaches at Tofino? What's so insane about them? I mean, the people who live in Tofino are pretty crazy, but... No, I'm good. Like, this is the pitch for a YouTube channel for me from Lunatic in YouTube chat, which is I highly recommend Clint's, where he interacts with creationism. As himself a Christian and Christian biologist, genuinely one of the best videos about religion and science that there is. No, absolutely not. I have zero interest in any of the religion. So thank you for curing me of any interest of looking into that channel. Appreciate it. I don't care if he's pro or against creationism. I don't need that in my life. I'm good. Yeah, if you watch the Canadian GP, I can be spotted. Uh-oh. I see smoke. I see a lot of smoke. I see burning elephants. I think we've got a loose forgotten beast. I think it finally figured out how to get into the fort. Yep. That it did. Well, this is terrible. Yeah, no, this ain't good. This is pretty bad, actually. Like, kind of really bad. Got fireballs going everywhere. Got dwarves dodging the fireballs. Hope they all equipped flasks. Most of them did. That's a good sign, I suppose. Seems to mostly just be horribly murdering my elephants down here. Which is pretty bad. Wait, how? Through the lava tube. I knew it could get in, but it didn't seem super interested, so I was kind of hoping it just would continue to not. Also, I shouldn't have deleted that screen because... Okay, good, I didn't. I'm going to snooze the ads, although I only have one snooze. See where it goes. Okay, it went down a level. It's killing Baltiri. That's a good number of dwarves it's killed. It's now killing another elephant calf. You're a bit late today? Well, good as time as ever to show up. Things have gotten a little spicy out here. Question is, what song is this? Losing is fun, right? I think we can maybe fight this. But it's possible we can't, so we'll have to wait and see. A caravan has arrived. I don't think that's wise either. Okay, well, it's popped up and is trying to... Well, it just set Chromite on fire. Okay, dwarves, I didn't really want that to happen, but... Chromite's left lower leg just went flying off. The beast is right here. I'm really hoping that the dwarves can be saved by evaporating liquids. Because, like, you're climbing up, yes, but you have parsnip wine, which will extinguish the fire once. Keyword there is once. So if they can just get on top of the... Why are you sleeping? If they can just get on top of the thing, they could theoretically have a chance. Forgotten Beast misses, lots of missing. Charges, lots of missing. Like, now you're on fire, but that should be put out at least once. Same with you. You should be put out at least once. Unless they decide to not. Oh, it got put out briefly. Also, a Vile Darkness Force has arrived. Well, this is going to end terribly for everybody. Hey, chat, this might be the end of the fort. I was being optimistic, but this might actually very well be the end of the fort. Just an FYI. So that dwarf put it out. Managed to put out the fire on him. Which is Votok, but he's still bleeding. Now he's dead. So, can I get a round of beers for good luck? Or a Vile Force of Darkness? Or some sort of indication that you are witnessing this glory? Oh. Necron tier, I think that you saved us. I don't think we would have survived if you hadn't posted that Vile Force. Because the creatures bled to death. And even though my doors are burning, and so is most of the fortress. And so is Gortusk. Lanix has now been elected mayor. Go figure. And we are still alive. Although we are also now getting attacked by goblins who are charging the fortress really quickly. Why is there mist right there? Oh, I see, because there's bolts being fired. Did somebody fall in? Doesn't look like it. Maybe it's just like... Okay, well, this human is getting the shit kicked out of them. Bonesaw is charging forwards. We also have Domas, who's in a martial trance. Fought his way through the first few humans. He's continuing to charge up. And it seems like this fortress will suffer to live another day. I don't know if we'll still get to trade, but... here's hoping. I also don't have a manager at the moment. I also don't have a chief medical dwarf. If you're talking about my army, it's less of an army and more of just a couple of misfits that just happen to be here. Or that are happy to be here, rather. An unlikely band of misfits that are just plain old happy to be here. SKULLPONDERS somehow struggles on to live another day, yes. And this poor elephant is still burning. If only it would rain for like not even a long period of time. I also lost my chief medical, rather, my captain of the guard. Bunny, you get that task. And then over here becomes Lanix's place. Who is ecstatically happy with their life, by the way. All in a few minutes. Tends to happen that way, yeah. Poor Mr. Trunks. Also, I love how they don't have that much weight they can carry, so they just brought a single platinum nugget. It's like, I know I told them to bring platinum, but also the Forgotten Beast has arrived, named Oklu Oluksum Not, a great hairy lizard twisted into humanoid form. A great hairy lizard twisted into humanoid form. Okay, it squirms and fidgets. Its eyes glow green. Its yellow-green hair is long and straight. Beware its poison vapor. So it's a tall lizard man monster thing. So this one could also get into the fortress, but it would have to do a lot of climbing, which it's already doing, so, you know, that's also a good sign. I mean, let me tell you this. It's pretty bad. Like, just in general. It's pretty bad. It's about as bad as it seems. Oops. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. But hey, you know, the fortress lives, so we will continue with our insurmountable goals. We could, well, there was more than 2 elephants on fire because the elephants all died of a lot more than just a single fire. Only in a few days. Are you also on vacation now, Creed? I mean, my vacation really starts the day after tomorrow, but halfway starts the day before. You had almost a week off and you missed it already. Well, welcome back. Rip your vacation week. Don't mind the blood everywhere. It's supposed to be like this. So I need to, I'm just gonna do this. Got stuff that shouldn't be burning still, that is. Just be better for everybody to get rid of that. When you work in the transport industry, it turns out you are going to work some stupid hours too often. And Neezer, take care. We'll see you in like a week. But yeah, no, most situations like this one could be a lot worse. When you're thinking critically about it, it could always be a lot worse. We also have another artifact that's starting, which is being made by a clother. I found another rock wall studded with gems, and also apparently we can see raw adamantine. Also, crap, I'm in an ad break. I didn't see that it started. Okay, well, that's cool. So the area that's dipping down is up here. It seems like that. Oh, geez. We actually have managed to drain out a few spots. Specifically up here. This is an area I could fill up with water. And we've claimed what? Stoneworkers Workshop. Well, good luck there, Dwarf. And you want pictures of skeletons. Well, what I should really do is go up to here and place that thing so that the ghost goes away. Did I not make a statue to Cog? Suppose I didn't. Also need to go back down into here. Hopefully we can get those bodies dealt with. Yeah, I will say that I prefer working 10-hour shifts over working 8-hour shifts. Like, if I can do a handful of 10-hour shifts instead of doing, like, a week's worth of 8-hour shifts, I almost universally prefer that. That being said, though, that's kind of also a circumstantial thing, where that rule doesn't apply to everything, and it depends on the work. But the happiest I ever was when I worked normal jobs was when I did 4 10-hour shifts instead of 5 4-hour shifts. Or 5 8-hour shifts, rather. Good lord, this takes forever. I know the game isn't paused. That's just how quickly this dwarf is able to mine. So apparently we have exposed adamantine somewhere on this thing. If I could block this off, I could make some good progress here. So I'm thinking like dumping water in this side as well is kind of on the next order of business. And are you still suspended? Yes, you are. Any kind of work sucks? I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's possible to have like a rewarding career that you enjoy. So I don't think any type of work sucks universally, but I think every type of work can suck. Not quite the same meaning, but I think you mean consecutive, not conservative, but sure. You know, when I found that I was starting to grasp the basics of this game, I couldn't think about anything except for it. Who do Bachuru? Buckru? Who do Buckru? I guess is how you say your name. I don't even. Stray elephant calf has been found dead. How many of my elephants do I still have? I've got Bobby Kotick and then 2 other cats. I lost all of my adult elephants. I almost feel bad for Bobby Kotick for the first time in my life. Almost. Not quite. Can you be an elephant? Would you like a male elephant or a lady elephant? You'd like the male elephant? Okay. You know, after all this time, we finally found the and then some in the Greg. He's curious and eager to learn and often feels envious of others. He often feels, He often feels envious of others. He's a bit stubborn in changing his mind about things and is not inherently proud of his talents and accomplishments. He tends to be a bit wasteful when working on projects and can easily fall in love or develop positive feelings. He's got no relationships and is 3 years old. A lot of items are being stored in stockpiles. A lot of items. Probably because I also emptied out my stockpiles a whole bunch. Yes. And Cog the Ghostly Miner was laid to rest. Got a lot of tasks, turns out. So got a bridge that's being worked on. Keep those paused. Let's pause all of these. So pause all of these. Let's press honey. And follow the dwarf that's building the bridge. Look at pictures of real baby elephants. They have giant ears. Like, they grow into their ears. It's kind of like baby cats. They grow into their heads. Like, they have a giant head and big eyes. And then they eventually start to look normally proportioned by the time they're adults. Also, I just have to say real quick thank you to the 80 people watching on the YouTubes. Don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube stream. And thanks to the 160 of you watching here on Twitch. And thanks for, like, the ridiculous amount of support with all of the gifted subs, guys. Appreciate you. Oh, Jesus, what? Why are you trying to go down into there? Oh, I see. I mean... Well, that's dumb. Of all the ways you could go here, that is like the dumbest way you could go, Dwarf. Like, seriously, that is the dumbest way you could go to finish that. But it does make sense why that kept getting canceled now. It's probably canceled again. Yeah, see? And the dwarves want to know what we want them to bring. I'm going to ask them to bring me wood because they haven't brought me much, and I want them to actually bring, like, a full thing. They want ash for some reason. Gotta catch them all, I suppose. And you want what? Shining bars of metal. Okay, do you want bones? It's probably bones. Skeletons. Yes, you do. Seems like a lot of dwarves are constructing buildings. Grr. They are instead going for this. Also, I'm just going to cancel a bunch of these. You're going to the YouTube stream just to leave a like. Who's with me? I mean, I don't know. Me, probably. I already did that, but... Biggest mon? Are you competing with the smallest mon? Building a bunch of jet memorials. Is anything getting chucked in tombs? Yeah, they are. That's kind of what I needed to see. Because even though a lot of the dwarves burnt to death, like, this dwarf's head is still available to be buried, so might as well bury it. Right? Right. It's grim. That's grim. They're burying whatever the hell they have. Whatever the hell they have. But thank you, Disco. Appreciate you. Now, we're just firmly in summer season, which, you know, is a commonly stated fact around here. It's quiet season for this stream. But, you know, that's fine. Like, I'm so used to it at this point, and I, like, presume it's going to happen at this point so much that, like, when it does happen, I'm just like, eh. I mean, it's that time of year. And every time this time of year rolls around and I see people on Twitch have conniption fits that, like, their numbers are dropping and then they get all upset, and I'm just like, it's just summer for me. I don't know. Maybe you're not that way, but for me, that just means it's summertime. You're leaving now? We'll see you later, Disco Dwarf Dork. Thanks for hanging out today. I hope that I will see you upon my triumphant return posteth my holiday. And cheers, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Dwarf Fortress does feel like a winter kind of game as well. I would say that just about any game with a fantasy theme, but I could see that. I never really thought about it being a winter game. I just kind of associate it with the practicality sense of, like, a lot of the people in my chat are not children, and a lot of them have children. And when you're not a child and also have kids, turns out when the holidays come chugging around and it's summertime, less people tune in because, you know, they're spending summer with their kids. And I don't blame people for that. Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, maybe the best reason you could possibly have to, like, not watch Twitch streams for a while is that, you know, it's vacation season. Okay, so this is also another one that I could pump out here. So I'm going to try and seal out this. Well, actually, maybe this is the area I got to seal off. Yeah, you know what? I think this is what I need to seal off. Because look at this. This is all lava sea that I've drained. This is all lava sea that's been drained. So we are doing some pretty good work on this thing. I had no idea how much of it we'd actually drained, but turns out it's kind of a lot of it. So maybe I don't actually want to do this. I'm getting actually a little bit irritated with this sucker. Where is it draining to? I'm draining it off the map. It's going this way. Out of here. And then there was another one. Down here. Because I was under the impression that it wasn't refilling, but maybe it is. Or maybe it isn't, rather. I was under the impression that it was refilling. No, it's definitely refilling. But over here appears to not be. So I need to go take a peek out here and see what's going on. It's going to take a wee bit of digging, but... What do you mean? What, pump off the edge of the map? Any liquid you can pump off the edge of the map. Let's just double this up so that it can go quicker, potentially. But yeah, we're trying to get rid of it. Also, Disco Cito, hello. It's good to see you as well. You know, you used to change your name like every 10 days. And now you do it a lot less. Maybe not every 10 days, but you used to change your name every 6 months. And it's been a while, Disco Cito. Because weren't you Disco Pug for a minute? Like a while ago? Amongst other things. It's always Disco something. You're at war with goblins and elves, and they will invade at the same time, and then proceed to fight each other. I love it when they do that. It's just, it's pretty rare that it lines up that well. I find usually the result is they just both attack me instead of both attacking when it's convenient. Let's see how this is doing. Yeah, so this is a big ol' opening right now, which me digging into this. And this is also, oh, geez, this is also draining now. We're getting pretty low, down to minus 44. For reference, the Lava Sea pumping level that I'm pumping it down to is minus 67, so it's still got a ways to go. But a ways to go is better than nothing. And some more migrants have arrived despite the danger. Which is good, because I need them. Also need to refill this. So anybody with some skills will just be simply tossed into the militia, because frankly I need to get them training. What does it mean? It means they've seen some shit. And so they're not as easily stressed because of it. So yeah, if it turns out that this is in fact not filling, then that is a bug, because it should be filling. And this is going to take 10,000 years, but we'll get there eventually. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a situation where I was at war with both at the same time causing that. Actually, I think it may have been the Gremlin Fort, because the Gremlin Fort, we definitely had like elves arrive at the same time as goblins. Good old Grammy the Gremlins Fort. That was the thing. Me pumping all my liquid off the maps must be the reason your maps have a heavy aquifer. No, you have a heavy aquifer because you settled on one. That's why. This was a personal decision in which you made. Huh. Why am I tempted to just drain this? An Etten has arrived, a giant humanoid monster with 2 heads. This Etten has a child with a very long name called Antir Top Page, the learned something radiance of orbs, is this creature's child. And it's a daughter, in fact. They've also killed what appears to be some undead and a bunch of elves. And isn't carrying any items. The adorable match is this one. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Chat, can I get a vile force of darkness? Just to prove that you are aware of the great threat that currently is threatening my dwarves. Although I think that the ledge into the water is more dangerous, but, you know, like I said. Lancelot, why you do this to me? Why? Why? Oh, well. Oh, this is actually really bad. Creature falls in, and Lancelot continues to dodge and is drowning. They're both missing. The Etten is not drowning, but is nauseous. I really don't want this dwarf to die. But there ain't much I can do. Such a goddamn shame, chat. They are a novice swimmer, so there is a chance they could learn, but... unless the drowning tag goes away, they're dead. You improved dodging? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you going towards the wall? Hold on. Let's just pause the game. Tell them to just go stand there. The Etten is climbing up here. And is now fighting. Once again. Seems we have a wrestler over here who's armed with nothing but an obsidian short sword. He's trying his best, and then he falls. And it appears that Lancelot is now dead. Oh, fuck you, game. Man, that sucks. This is like the one spot that isn't going to freeze in the winter. I hate that. I'm just gonna drain this moat. The rest of my very brave beatstick dwarves surround the creature and eventually beat it to death. And now they go back to training. Whoa! Aerith was able to get out. Can I get a round of Fs for the poor dwarf who went and drowned? Rip Lancelot. Rip Lancelot. Oh, I see. They were in the stairs. I was like, where the hell are you going? I mean, if Josh Johnson is to be believed, then yes, swimming is in fact dodging water. Although I think in his case it was fighting the water. To the shallow end, Lancelot, indeed. Shallow End is a hardcore band I really like. Ironically, I kept that moat around because chat's like, it looks cool. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll keep it. But now I'm regretting it. I've lost enough stuff in it now that I'm like, well, yeah, no, I'm regretting that. We should fix that. Fix that problem. Also, I have to say thank you, chat, to those of you who are sticking around during the slow season for this whole channel. It means a lot. And if you clip anything that happens on the stream, don't forget to share it, because we do have a clips leaderboard now, because that's a thing that Twitch has. I kind of wish that was a thing that Twitch had for longer, because it is actually kind of a cool feature, but... If the lava is bugged or not? No, actually I can't, because I won't know until they get through this. When they get through this, I'll be able to tell you if it is in fact bugged. I don't think it is, because it is very much refilling in other locations. It's like, well, it may not be filling here specifically. It is filling on the other side, so I don't think it is. What's up, Amber? Hopefully it's not that soul-destroying. Why don't we, like, focus the energy of the soul-destroying job to destroy the soul of your boss, so that your boss's soul is banished from their body and they just become a husk. And then thus, well, I guess they'll just be replaced by somebody else. Never mind, it doesn't really work that way, unfortunately. You know, like multi-headed Hydra type situation. Hopefully it's not that soul-destroying. Having lived that life, I don't envy it. You know, when I talk about things that happened in the past as lived that life, every now and again there will be a person who will just be like, do you believe in reincarnation? I'll be like, fuck no, what? Where'd you get that from? They give you money all the time. Well, that's a bonus. Oh, for fuck. Game, can I have 3 minutes of break, please? Please. That doesn't look like an iguana. Chad, is that an iguana? This claims to be a were iguana. That looks like a hyena, maybe? I don't... I'll screenshot this in DM Tarn and just write, found a bug. Also, Cruel Messes. I read that as Clueless Mess. Be even better if his name was Clueless Mess, because then we could just use the excuse of, oh, he doesn't know who he is. Oh, man. So, some of you probably know my moderator, Stoned Hobo. He lives in Florida, right? And he's going to be hanging out with me this weekend in Montreal watching Formula One, right? He's a big Panthers fan. Last year, when we did this, he also did the same thing and flew up for the race, right? And is a Panthers fan. So last year we got to sit in a bar while he was the only person cheering his lungs out as, like, the Oilers got stomped by the Florida Panthers. And now he's posting in our group chat that he gets to do that again, which is really funny. As somebody who isn't really a hockey fan. It's a workouty? Okay, that's what I thought. Also, we're in an ad break if anybody's wondering why I haven't unpaused. Oh boy. This is gonna be bad, isn't it? Crash Bandicoot? It does kind of look like Crash Bandicoot. I guess the Were Coyote and the Were Iguana sprites are flipped for some reason. Alright, well, it's chasing one dwarf. Come on. Lead him away. That's exactly what we need. Just don't get bit there. Well, you got kicked by it. And he got bit. So this dwarf has been bit. A noble sacrifice. Whew. Well, I guess you can add one more to your set of kills there, Goblin. The game's being mean to me, chat. The game is being mean to me. Kill that goblin. It's already left the map, Sakamura. So the thing is, my military just got pretty brutalized. So I'm letting I want my dwarves to train up because none of them have armor. They need to be real good at dodging to be able to put any kind of dent in something like that. Such a long walk. Although I should make more leather armor, but... And also some more wooden shields. What I should really do, actually, is just seal off the surface. And just only let in dwarves when there's new migrants or traders. That's probably what I should do. Okay, so let's see what we get. So is this... I can't tell if this is filling from the edge of the map or not. But this is draining. Like, noticeably is draining. So is this. Let's also go take a peek over here. Yeah, the dwarves are digging through this, which I'll let them continue to do. That's the frustrating thing, is that this dwarf is just here. Actually, if I dig through this... Yeah, if I dig through this, then it'll let a bunch of water into here, which is fine.
Crypt happy less
and then we can get this
all.
body out, which is part of the actual priority here. Arkmaster, thanks for the 31st month. Welcome back. It's good to see you, dude. Chat, can I get a round of beers to help keep that chat moving? And thank you, Arkmaster. Appreciate you, dude. Once that empties out a little bit, you can also go get your sword. And then let's go find an empty coffin, such as this one. Give you a coffin in the place of honor. What's funny is I don't think that's actually the first time where creature sprites have been reversed. Because isn't there a bit in the Dwarf Fortress doc that NoClip did where Tarn goes, sprites are reversed? God damn. You need what? You've got bones, rough gems, skeletons. Any more skeletons? More skeletons. I'm running out of animals I can butcher. And lead, the ghost has risen. Okay. They finally found him dead. Reason drowned. They hadn't found him dead yet? That's kind of wacky to me. Red Fogel, thanks for the 6 months. I had to like look at that twice because it gave me a fun combination of numbers and letters again. Or fun combination of months again. Needs setting. Do I not have... Oh, I don't have a bone doctor. Odom. And Zon, you guys can both be bone doctors. Okay, let's go peek over here again. Because, like, it looks like this area should be filling, but it also appears to be draining. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I know this is draining. Just not on this side. But I'm not entirely sure what portion of it is causing it to drain. Okay, this is exciting. Look at this. This area right here is draining. We've drained up all the way up to the top here and chunks of this out, but this is now starting to drain. If it goes down to 2, yeah. Meanwhile, over here, this is down to layer minus 43. So yeah, no, we're making great progress. How many were creatures there are? There's a list on the wiki. It's like 30 something, I think. The thing is, you only will have like 1 or 2 types usually per world, I find. Sometimes you'll have more, but not usually. This is crazy, man. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna make another big old set of drainers. Where's my lowest down one? It's like this can be added to the set pretty easily. So let's get this one set up. Obsidian, glass, glass. Obsidian, glass, glass. Obsidian, glass, glass. Obsidian, glass, glass. And of course, obsidian, glass, and glass. Yeah, this will be easy to add. Did you see a beasting alert? Oh, most certainly. I've got tons of bees.
Afternoon blind. Happy almost vacation and 42 months.
Appreciate you,
Just so
Taylor.
happens to overlap with my vacation. Hope you enjoy.
Sorry that it aligns with the time that you could watch more in theory, unless you're going somewhere for your vacation. But I hope you have a good time on your vacation. I mean, I won't be gone all that long. Like I said earlier in the stream, my vacation is actually going to be shorter than that week I took to go editing. So, you know. Okay, so because this right here that needs to be dug into, and I'm just gonna seal this off. And cancel that. So that the lava disappears. I'm not entirely sure. As far as I know, lava's supposed to refill in the caverns, but for some reason, due to either me doing embark shenanigans to embark on a castle, or due to me reclaiming it, I'm not positive which is the cause of this. But the result is we just have lava that isn't refilling. So I'm trying to drain the lava sea. Also, chat room, I just have to say thank you to those of you who are sticking around because, well, I'm happy chat's still active. So thanks, chat. Appreciate you guys there. I would like to stream some Jupiter Hell Classic, which is a remake of Doom the Roguelike today as well, because the demo got updated and I have a sneaky demo that has more content than the actual demo. But, so there is a chance that I will be streaming a little bit of that, as long as the chat keeps moving, though. Because I'm sure there was at least one other person watching this stream right now who played Doom the Roguelike when it was a thing. An active going concern, but I don't know if it's exclusive. I think it's just anybody who makes YouTube videos. I don't know, the dev sent me like a link to their testing branch, so. You played Doom the Roguelike long ago? Yeah. So that's kind of what I would like to try later, or mess around with later today. For anybody who's curious, it's this. Which I left a positive review, so you know. But it's this. Which is a remake of Doom the Roguelike. Which is kind of crazy. There is a developer releasing a game on Steam in the current year that's written in free Pascal. Well, hopefully this will at the very least make this drain fast. Well, help it drain faster, I don't know. Time is a flat circle, I guess. I'm not a scientist, so I can't speak to any authority on that. Chat room, I like this river a lot, but it's gonna drive me. It's starting to become the death of me. Like, I'm literally gonna have to just go across here and block all this off with wall pieces. Because they keep trying to walk through this. to do any kind of construction anywhere. And it's kind of maddening. Which is causing all of these jobs to get canceled constantly. Which is why these haven't been done yet as well. Why this hasn't been done as well. But anyway, let's peek over here. I could also just pump lava into this. Because I feel like this should be where I should be draining stuff. Like, actually right here would be a really easy spot. Like, this is still draining and not draining entirely, but that's because it's draining all of this. So this will accelerate at a point. But now the question is, how do I get power over here quickly and efficiently? The answer is I kind of don't. So let's... Now let's just jump up to there from here. That'll be fine. It'll take a while, but it'll be fine. Let's also get rid of this. What's up, Mason Music? Was able to rescue the cat from the well. It took me about 9 seconds to rescue that cat from the well. I just told them to deconstruct one wall, they did it, and the cat got out of the well. No, totally. Well, I'm not sure what he uses as tagging, but yeah, it's just getting one input incorrect, right? How high up does this go? Because, like, doesn't this go all the way up to the surface? Yeah, it literally does. But instead they use this side. I'm not even sure if that's faster or not. Anyway, just follow this dwarf. Oh, geez, right. Now I remember why I went around this. You know, I could just keep digging through this and just see what happens. But I feel like that would be kind of reckless. Another ghost has risen and is haunting the fort. It's very rare that the ghost dwarf is all the way up at the top, but I guess their name is AB. Aban. Let's see if this goes around it. Colony? Who are you calling a colony? Someone I know just sent me an article. Apparently a tree almost hit a house because a truck hit said tree. Truck hits tree and tree almost crushes house. Well, that's mildly terrifying. That's only a few blocks from me. And that happened today. Well then. Yeah, fortress is the success. There is no colonies in Dwarf Fortress. There's only fortresses. Any colonies are definitely sus and should be checked. I will just try and dig around this. I will try to dig around that. We'll get there eventually, hopefully, maybe. Yeah, I mean, looks like a pretty big crash. I kind of don't want to share it, but, like, if you could probably Google it pretty easily. Just because it is really close to me, but... The gist I get is it was a semi-truck that missed its corner. Man, I keep digging into the edge of this goddamn fun tube. It's kind of in a very inconvenient spot. Let's just see where you hit it again. I really am kind of flirting with the devil on this. Let's actually do this. And do that instead. And get rid of this. Oh yeah, true. Colonies are where ants live. We're not ants, we're dwarves. Actually, the real joke I should have said is we're not ants, we're uncles, but... Would call it a fortress, or if it was... No, a dwarven settlement is a fortress. I mean, you wouldn't call it a house. So this whole area seems to be pretty separated unto itself. If that's the case, if this is also separated to itself, then they might not actually be able to keep filling indefinitely, but... Just gonna fly up to the surface here and do something real quick. See this sucker right here? We're gonna dig through into that eventually. And then I'm gonna start building stairs all the way down this. Because currently it's at what? Minus 48? It's got another few more to go. And I've got this side over here that is draining quite rapidly. Quite rapidly indeed. And I'm going to start building pumps. Another set of them, in fact. And for that other one that I built, which I think is over here, right? Because there's that one, there's this one. Yeah, that was the other one that I threw together, which is draining this area quicker-ish. This is still going really slowly, but let's see if we can get this done. So realizing I'm kind of screwing this up a lot. Kind of screwing this up because this should actually go over top here and then drop down over here. Which means I need to go around this so that I can have it connect on that side instead of here. Also, this should be stairs down. And this can be just dropping down. And then I should build stairs up on that side. And this needs a door here. But, you know, we'll get there. Oh, for fuck. I swear to all that is Dwarfy. Dwarves, please just stop trying to walk through that river. It's not funny. It really isn't. You know, it looks like me misspelling please as a 2-year-old. The Forgotten Beast Pelise has come. A enormous one-eyed ceropod. Beware its poison bite. It has a short horn, and it is slavering. Its scales are large and set far apart. Please, though. Bitch, please. Okay, so let's follow this beast. Rude. What? Should we be calling it a tall horn then? That's a tall order. Dwarves are incapable of giving tall orders, if you didn't know. None of your dwarves have fallen into the rivers so far, but the children love playing by the cliffside. Naturally. It worries you? Well, you should burrow them somewhere where they don't get to do that. This one isn't super big of a deal to us because of where it is. I do think it's funny that it's named Please. It's like, ah, please. Chat, all these jobs getting forbidden is going to be the death of me. I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go to you, right here. And then I'm going to go over to here, down to this area, because they're taking this. I'm just going to put a floor on top of this fucking thing. I don't want them using this route anymore. I haven't been counting, so probably something like that, yeah? To me? Oh, there's also Crundles in here, which probably isn't helping. This is actually probably what's causing all these job cancellations. I hate Grundle's chat. There we go. What's the translated version of police? Policy? Policy? Policy. Policies. Sucker. That's funny. I'm embarrassed on behalf of that beast. That is, in fact, one of the funnier names I've heard in a minute. They be Crundle dead. They ain't be Crundle in this fort. Lanix, I wish you were better at this job because it's taking you 10,000 years. I mean, you're also taking 1,000 years to do a very simple task, so. So I don't know if I would necessarily categorize that as busy per se, but. The Mace Lord is what killed the Crundle. Man, that Crundle got overkilled. Utterly obliterated. All right, so where was I? Another ghost has been put to rest. Oh, I was like, why is this not getting worked on? Well, it's because they're kind of having a hard time getting up and down those stairs. They're having to climb up a wall to get up and down those stairs. I was a little worried that that would happen, but, you know, here we are. And if these keep getting forbidden, then I know that there's something up. Like another Crundle, as an example. No, you're just a perfectionist, I think, Lennox. You got hunted by the dead. Well, that's grim. What a way to go. Let's also go up and around the edge here. And along here. And along there. And deconstruct you. Move you up by a tile. There's a lot of construction happening right here. Same with these and this. Because the reason I need to go along the edge of this is they need somewhere to put the rocks so that they can connect these together. Because if I just fill up a single tile wide tube, then they'll cancel the task last minute. That's really sloppy. Oh well. I also need to chop down more trees, apparently. And there we go. This is continuing to slowly drain. And this will speed up the draining, even more so. I'm really curious to see this one when it's up and running. The dwarves are starting to mine this area out, which is good. I'm also going to go up to the surface and, if I can, chop down a bunch of trees. And hopefully this will all start draining soon. Or at least improve the draining. The lava. This one needs to get hooked up, because I guess all of your tasks got canceled. For reasons unknown. Oh, maybe I just never finished them. Also certainly plausible. Because this is slowly draining, but I want this to quickly draining. We're still generating plenty of power as well, which is a good sign. Do I even have any woodcutters right now? I don't. Let's just make 2 iron battle axes. So I melted some stuff down, which will let me do that. The one problem with building a fort like this, where everything is super far apart and disconnected, is after a while, it genuinely takes forever to build anything. Like, if I had twice the dwarves, it would be less of an issue, but for some reason they keep dying. I'm not totally sure why. It's very strange and mystical, if you ask me. All these mysterious disappearances, man. And also, thank you very much to everybody who's tuning in. You know, we're in the middle of slow season. Not as many people tune in the summer, and it's always a wee bit of a struggle for me. But just about to say thank you to everybody who's tuning in and watching today. Don't forget to leave a like on the YouTube stream to the YouTube side, and thank you to those of you hanging out here on Twitch as well. I do want to play a little bit of a different game as well today, so we're going to be doing a wee bit of a twofer, 2 separate games today. But first, I want to finish this, and then the other pump project that I'm starting, which is over here. This one. I want to see some real good progress happening on this. At least Bismuth is making us an iron battle axe. You've been busy. It's that time of year, you know? I'm just trying to keep the chat moving, you know? It was almost 10 minutes between lines of text written in chat. I should probably swap over to the other game before everybody leaves, so that then everybody can leave. But chat, thank you very much to those of you seriously who are sticking around. And anything that you can do to keep the chat moving is greatly appreciated on days like today. Get out there, fell that tree. Just got Dwarf Fortress a couple days ago, and you want to say thank you for helping you through it. Watching the tutorials on YouTube. Cheers. I'm glad that they are still relevant. My biggest fear upon making that big bunch of tutorials back in 2022 and early 23 and some in 24 as well, is that none of them would be relevant in about 6 months, but thankfully most of them are still relevant. And the few that aren't, I've updated, so. All right, so this down here appears to be powered and is now pumping. And is helping another forgotten beast. This one's called Kova. And can fight with that other one that also can't get to me. Good luck! And it died. The one that can't get to me now is, well, I guess continuing to kill other things. It did kill a whole lot of Forgotten Beasts. Two Forgotten Beasts here so far. So 1 2 years ago and now that one. Well done. Champion, who is the Mudstone quadruped with poison gas, who's missing a foot. He's footloose, if you will. This one I also need to get to draining as well. But I don't actually think I have that many pumps. Only have 3 left. I have to make more. Well, we'll get them building regardless. Because this one's pumping. But the one that I'm working on is this one. It's not what I wanted. I needed a longer line than that. That's getting constructed. That needs a gear. That also needs a gear piece. That should be everything. Now it's just a matter of getting the blocks in. Oh. The other thing I gotta do is I gotta smooth and fortify this. We're just referencing the minecart tutorials as well. I've had a few people confess to me that they are about 2,000 of those views, and I'm like, if every person who claimed that they'd watched that one video 2,000 times had watched that video 2,000 times, that video would have several million views. But I'm glad so many of you have gotten, you know, benefit out of it. Speaking of Dwarf Fortress is on sale right now. So I don't know. If you don't have it yet, now's not a terrible time to pick it up. Because it is on sale. Which isn't quite free real estate, but it is cheaper than it normally is. And then when that's done, we're gonna fortify this so that it can pump off the map. It's now time for you to bother your dwarf friends into getting Dwarf Fortress. Isn't that just all the time? I feel like that should just be all the time. Oh, for fuck's sake. Another Forgotten Beast has arrived. This one's stuck in a tree. Please leave me alone and don't come fight me. You stupid monster. Actually, I think it has direct route into the fort. Yeah, it super duper does. Let's see. This one is a bug. By that I mean it literally is a bug. In fact, it's a scorpion. It's an enormous three-eyed scorpion. It has large mandibles and it belches and croaks. Its aqua exoskeleton is waxy. Beware its poison sting. But it doesn't seem super interested. Well, if it attacks us, it attacks us. We'll deal with that when we get to that. God damn. All right. Why are we draining the lava? Why not? Spoilers, that's going to be the response you get to almost any Dwarf Fortress related question about like endgame stuff is Well, why not? We can. It's there. Might as well. But yeah, literally because I can and it's there. So why not? Why does the fish, why does water make things wet? That's a pointed statement. Sideburns, the crafts dwarf, has been possessed. Sideburns has been possessed. Well, nothing is new there, really. And Moreb was finally put to rest. Holodorfia. Hail Armark. It's about goddamn time. It's about Dwarf damn time. Such a long way to go. But yeah, it is one of those existential questions. Why do dwarves do things? And it's regular price? Well, it was on sale yesterday, in my defense, Ivan. It was 20% off. I guess that thing's over. Must have just been a really short sale. Because it was on sale as part of Turn-Based Thursday stuff, so that must have ended. Yeah, you're right, it is regular price. My bad, sorry, false advertising. But it was on sale yesterday. Strange mood. Clothes shop. Bones, yes. Did I fail another one? I must have. Getting literally no animals that I can slaughter. This is actually kind of bad. I may have to make hunters or something. I do need to wait on these. And then that's pretty much it. And then we'll get this project up and running properly. Also building or digging out a trench in front of this so that I can get more water, or more lava, I guess, draining out of here. How does the dwarf drink? Because he's thirsty. That's a very answerable question, Elmiran. But yeah, in regards to why am I draining the lava, because I realized that I could, and it's kind of like when a cat is surprised that something moves when it pokes it, and then it just pushes it over and goes, huh, weird, and then moves away pretty quickly after the fact. It's basically the same thing. It's like, you realize that you can, and you go, huh, I guess I should do that. That's largely all it is it's just a, well, I realize I can do this thing, so I should do this thing. Did you hear something about cats? So I was just simply comparing my habits in Dwarf Fortress to cats. Because cats notice that they can knock something over, and thus they knock the thing over. Dwarves realize they can build something, and so thus they build something. This was also a game made by cat people, so... Well, not like literal cat people, but people who like cats. Tarn is a cat person, okay? That's all that means. A kitty named Orion. Do you have a cat named Orion? Do I have any cats? I've got this one. Who is injured because it decided to fight... Oh, it fell off of something. Well, that's not good. Orion is not the type to fall in love or ever develop positive feelings, is somewhat scatterbrained and always tense and jittery, doesn't focus on material goods, doesn't seek out excitement, and he is not particularly interested in what others think of him. He tends to not reveal personal information, and he does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity. He values artwork and its creation, is slow to anger, and doesn't often experience strong cravings or urges. He's quite polite, and he can sometimes act without deliberation. You read that as Onion? I mean, Onion's not a terrible name for a cat. Is it a Man in Black reference? I don't know. I haven't seen those movies in a long time. That's a bulky rope reed right mitten, which I kind of am struggling to care about because it's bulky. So thus I can't use it. A lot of things that need finishing. Cheers, Darmond. Appreciate that, man. What is bulky sized for? It's not that it's sized differently. It's just nobody can, like, or rather, it won't have a sprite. But, like, dwarves could use it. It just is going to be an invisible circle. Or if a dwarf equips it, it's a cloak of invisibility, I guess. Okay, so I just got to get this one and this one done, and then all these will turn on. But we've just got to get these finished. But that's going to take a little bit still, because there's two separate dwarves working on this. One's got 3 and one's got 4. They probably need like 8. So I'm going to wait until they exit through here, and then I'm going to lock this, and then we're going to seal it up. You know what? Screw it. Let's just get rid of these. I just don't want a dwarf to get blasted with lava in here. As funny as that would be. I don't really want to see it happen. All right, chat. This is getting constructed, and it's being constructed by... Well, one of them is being constructed by this dwarf. You guys can follow this dwarf as they construct that thing that really needs to be constructed, and I'm going to go use the washroom. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere quickly unless you really want to, and please jump around in circles and act excited. I will be right back. damn, good timing. Can't stop, won't stop zooming? Yeah. Chair's definitely got the vibes. Also, do you have a cat named Orion? It's All Stars? Artemis is dead, I think. I'm pretty sure Artemis died. Pretty sure. Pretty sure that cat burned to death. I can double check though, but I'm mostly certain Artemis went kapoof. In a great gaping ball of fire. So wait, you have 2 new cats, their siblings maybe. What does their siblings maybe mean? I'm slightly distressed by what their siblings maybe means. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire, indeed. Little boy is older. Rescues so you can only guess. Makes sense. Well, just say they're adopted siblings. 'Cause isn't that kind of the same thing? Siblings, possibly adopted, possibly not. Let's let this dwarf go. Get a drink. Yeah, there you go. You've been binge watching my stuff? Well, cheers, man. Sorry for fanboying. Saying you like my stuff isn't exactly fanboying. That's a basic level compliment. Fanboying would be finding me in person and then following me. I don't know. I kind of associate fanboying with like negative things, or like someone acting like a fan as a negative thing, but just like, you know, saying that you like the stuff I make isn't a negative thing, so. It's like, isn't the classic line, the word fan is derived from fanatic and nobody wants to be a fanatic about anything? That would be stalking. Well, one is indecipherable from the other, or indistinguishable from the other. I don't think there's a single person who owns $500 in merch on my merch store. There might be. Maybe Darius? I feel like Darius owns every mug, but I don't think that's 500. I'd need to do some math. Maybe with shipping. There'd be very few fans. So you know fanboys, you say, true. 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 Although my friend's mom, my friend Kevin, his mom bought one of my mugs. And I got home and was just like, why did person with definitely my friend's mom's name buy my mug? I was so confused. Okay, so we've got one left. One Axel left. No, I'm not going to name it Rose, because then it would sing terribly. If I sell my mug for $500, maybe if somebody bought... No, the person who buys it for $500 would be the fan, right? I had somebody ages ago tell me to auction off my old ear pads. I'm like, that's gross. I wouldn't do that. I mean, I could just put a mug up for $500 and just call it, now you're a real fan. But no. Maybe I should draw a mug and then sell that instead. This is why you're not an economist? That's fair. I'm not an economist because I'm not educated. If I was a smarter person, then maybe I could be an economist. Trade is the lifeblood of a thriving society. Such a long walk, holy shit. You had one more and you gave your brother. How many of those did you win in giveaways? Well, I think you have the most mugs. If I were to bet, I think it's you. 30% of them. Ah. A vile force of darkness arrived and immediately left, which means a bunch of thieves are going to arrive, and I'm very happy it wasn't a full vile force of darkness because I need a break. And I think I still have the recenter on thieves setting tagged. Shrug. Well, I mean, this isn't a reclaim. This is using embark anywhere to embark somewhere that I'm not normally supposed to be able to embark. So this is a bit more than just a reclaim. They come up into the fort. And then they go out of the fort. See ya, suckers. As big as you want. Stuff doesn't cave in unless you remove all supports from it. So, unless you completely remove all of the floors above it, as well as then channel down, structural integrity isn't something you need to worry about in this game, a creator. It was in the game at one point, so you might see people talking about it, but simply put, that was removed from the game in 2008. So you can dig out the entirety of a layer and it won't cave in. And also, I would have seen that in the YouTube chat in about 90 seconds if you waited. I do read both. I just focus on the one that generally has more people chatting. Must be the last one. I mean, I will never get over the one time I was watching a Dwarf Fortress stream, and the guy was playing with a friend in voice, in a voice call, and they were just, you know, chatting back and forth about playing the game and whatnot. And he was offering a lot of tips, and admittedly, it was a lot of good advice. However, he then said, but don't build the buildings wider than, it was like 8 tiles wide, or they'll cave in after a couple of weeks. And then I was just like, that hasn't been accurate information since the game became 3D, which is too late 2007. And I'll be honest, I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, like, it's pretty out of date, my guy. No, zero plans to make a new tutorial series because it would be virtually the same content as the last one. All of the content of that one is still valid, and it wouldn't be worth my time. I've explained that dozens of times over the past month and don't feel like doing it again. But there isn't enough people that would watch something like that right now for it to be even remotely worth making. Hopefully, Esm can get her done. Boat Fame, what a good name. Yeah, you can reclaim anything. Well, you can reclaim any dwarven site that you didn't build that is a fortress, Derek Dupire. No, I mean, like, there is no reason to tutorialize the endgame, because if you're capable of getting to the endgame, you don't need a tutorial. For the same reason that I refused to make, like, all of the tutorials that people asked for over the years, such as, like, can you make a tutorial on how to make a battle arena? No, because all you need is an ounce of creativity and some ingenuity, and you yourself can create your own beautiful, glorious battle arena. But yeah, no, I have no interest in really making tutorials unless they are absolutely necessary to make. And there was a lot of interest in people searching for tutorials when Dwarf Fortress released. People who are playing Dwarf Fortress can just watch the ones that I've already made because they're already relevant. And if you've played enough Dwarf Fortress to make it to mid-game, you don't need an end-game tutorial. And there's also tons of written, like, guides for late-game stuff in Dwarf Fort. I'd rather make, you know, the movie-style videos that I make these days because, one, they're more fun to make and they don't feel soulless. And tutorials are kind of soul-crushing after a while. And two, because, like, there's a limited number of people. Like, if you go look at any of the quick tutorials that I updated because I had to, because a mechanic changed, you'll notice that they have significantly less views. Which, at the end of the day, that's what this business is run on. It's views. Holy shit, Fog.
Beer.
It doesn't work like that, no, Halvin. It used to, and it might again in the future, but at the moment it doesn't work that way. Because it's late. It is late. Chat, can I get 92 beers for 92 months? Fog, it's crazy to me that that sub's still going. Like, actually. Like, that's nuts. So thank you. Thank you for being crazy. And keeping that sub going. It's hard to put into words, actually. There's a point where, like, amount of time just becomes hard to quantify and you've passed it. So thank you. Really hope that's the last one. Have to hit 100 at least. Well, I mean, I'll still be going, so. I mean, here's the thing, right? When the Siege changes come out, I'm probably not going to make a Siege-related tutorial. I might make a Siege Engines tutorial. But a Siege-related tutorial would be, like, a bit pointless because it's very circumstantial based on how you've built your fort. But I'm not going to make a full new series about that because there's no reason to. The next time that I could see that even being remotely, like, viable or interesting would be probably myths and magic stuff, like a proper mechanical overhaul, because the base levels of the game are going to stay pretty similar. Like if Tarn overhauls farming, then I'd consider doing a new series, but it would have to be like a full rebalance or like change in how the game fundamentally works. Because as long as the fundamentals are still there and still the same, making a new series is a lot of work and effort for me and not a lot of payback. Unless, like, suddenly the player base of this game quintuples again. Which might happen, but it hasn't happened. To give you an idea, like, when this launched on Steam, it was, like, what, 20 6,000 people playing or whatever. And it's been around 1,000 since. Like it jumped up a little bit during adventure mode to about 4 for 2 months, but then it dribbled back down again, and it hasn't really taken off again. And so, you know, if the player base of Dwarf Fortress gets bigger and making tutorials has more, and there's more reason to make full tutorial series at some point in the future, then maybe I'll consider it. But for right now, we don't live in that world. 450. And the only reason I stopped playing that fort was I got bored. Fatamuri, I think is how you say your name. But yeah, I stopped because I was bored. That was Seed Vault. What was the name of that fort if you want to go look up the VODs? Okay, so we are constructing the final axle for this one. And now we get to pump some more lava out of here. And there she goes. This is probably going to drain pretty quickly, actually. Yeah, look at that. Holy shit. I should have made a horse joke, actually. What's the largest population you've ever had that was stable? It's like, well, sorry, I need to pony up for this one. Boo, who you booing? I got rid of all the ghosts already. Man, that is super satisfying to watch. Look at that. Chat's all hoofing at me for these bad jokes. I really like this lava waterfall thingy, though, that we have down here. It's just like, it's just pumping down into here, which is then going down into here, which is then going down into here, which is then eventually draining from... No, not there. It's like further... Yeah, it's down here. It's all this. But, like, this is just, like, flowing down out of here, which is kind of wild to see. Also, this is draining now. Or this has actually hit the lava sea level. It's down to minus 55 right here. Oh, that's actually kind of crazy. That is actually kind of crazy. Let's just look at this in ASCII real quick. You can actually see the darker colors is where it's draining, because this is on the same level as us right now. And it's draining all the way down through here. All of this is draining out now too. That's actually, yeah, that's kind of bonkers to see. Wow. Speaking of bonkers to see, so is this. So what this is going to do is this is just going to be a viewport. Just going to dig down into here and take a peek. See what more we can see. This is just a giant, like, industrial scale drainage project. That's all this really is. This is all slowed down already. There's a fire snake. Because this layer is draining out. I can't tell if it's refilling from here. It must not be. simply must not be. But this is something else. You heard of workflow optimization. I mean, it's certainly flowing stuff. Stuff is certainly flowing, let me tell you. I'll also tell you this. Another reason why I may not ever need to really make tutorials again is because unless there's a huge influx in players all of a sudden for some reason, is because the majority of the people playing Dwarf Fortress know how to play Dwarf Fortress. Once you know how to play Dwarf Fortress, like you've made it kind of past the learning portion of, well, I know how most of these base mechanics work. Once you make it past that, for lack of a better term, you kind of don't need tutorials anymore, because you can kind of just intuit how the game's going to ask you to play new things pretty easily, in my experience. I mean, that's been me for years now. Where like, yeah, I mean, I know how to play this game, but there's also a lot of elements of it that aren't actually as challenging as they would be otherwise, because I already know kind of the game logic. And if people don't, you know, if people don't really know what I mean, it's like, well, as long as the basic tutorials are still relevant, then you can figure out the rest of it from there. Maybe one day there will be reason to make more, but happy to help, Kelpie. Let's just see what else is going on out here. B-Lug, thanks for the raid. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well. Look forward to hanging out in a few days. A solo cooler.
Belug Snacks, we're here for the party. We're bringing the fish Belug Snacks.
Did you bring snacks? That's the important question. Jack, can I get a round of beers for B-Lug and Raiders? And Mods, could I get a shout out for B-Lug? Thanks, Mods. How was the stream? What were you up to today? We're actually about to swap games. I just want to see the rest of the Lava Sea, because I'm draining the Lava Sea. But alongside of draining the Lava Sea, I'm curious about how much of it is actually touching the edge. So I'm getting a dwarf to dig down here. And once this dwarf's done digging down, well, actually, let's just leave all this on priority number 1. Because then they'll dig out these and then jump over to this. Because once we get down into here, I'll be able to see a little bit more. And I can also then dig across over to here, but that'll take a while. Could also actually just do this. You know what's funny? I got a notification this morning saying that I just unlocked and completed Path to Affiliate, so I guess this is my my affiliate celebration stream as well. All right, so you can see a little further. See how far this rabbit hole goes. Or in this case, the dwarfy hole. Well, I got partnered in 2018. Kenshi, Octopath Traveler, and Animal Crossing. Huh. That is quite the combination of games. That's the I couldn't decide what to play today game selection, so I played everything. Also found another giant wall studded with gems. Okay, this area seems to be where it's filling up. This is still draining slowly. And we're still... And I found raw adamantine. Praise the miners. Where is it? Oh, pretty far down, but I can see it, sort of. Okay, so this side touches the wall here, and this probably does as well. This is crazy to see. Just the lava sea draining like this is wild to look at. I wish I enjoyed my time with that game, Fatamari. Although, there have been some balance changes which would probably make me less irritated with it, but man. I was also looking at the starting selections and going, okay, there's a few different starting scenarios I could play that I probably would enjoy a lot more. Could also channel across this. Guess I could go basically from there to there. Well, see, here's the thing. The lava sea itself, yes. This still isn't, though. This should also refill. And then the areas that I'm draining are the large surface pockets that don't touch the edge of the map. So we are still going to have to drain it as one would by covering off the edges and then sealing it with water. But the volcano is the thing that's not refilling that should be. Why? I mean, when it's drained, I'm going to build stuff in it. That's my actual plan. Is to build stuff in it. Speaking of building stuff. So yeah, this will all drain out. This area here. So chat, I think we're going to go play something of another game for a little bit. I realize it's a quiet day, and it'll probably continue to be a quiet day. But I would like to take a peek at the new demo for Jupiter Hell Classic, which is a remake of Doom the Roguelike. So I'm going to ask you guys very kindly, if you could, please stick around. And if you can help keep the chat moving, that'll keep the stream going longer. You are welcome to take your leave.